I surrender those moments like I surrender this present moment that we are in into its proper order. I'm trying to make the conscious choice, the conscious effort to simplify, to order things properly, to make the first thing in COVID, especially in COVID. So I say to myself, touch them all, Joe. Touch them all. Every face-to-face conversation you can have, savor that. Touch them all, Joe. Touch them all. Give as much as you can to as many as you can. Touch them all, middle-aged adults and older. Let me challenge you with something right now. Right now. Who cares about saving more money or multiplying assets? Who cares? We're in a moment here. There is a moment to be had here, especially for those who really need what we can provide for them. So my challenge to you is to touch them all. Touch them all. To young parents in the room here this morning, this is my challenge to you. Who cares about getting to the next level of your career, especially now? Who cares? We're in the middle of a moment here. There is a moment to be had with your kids, a special one. So touch them all. Touch them all. To youth or young adults who might be listening, my challenge to you in this moment is this: who cares what everybody else wants you to do with your life? Who cares? You're in the middle of a moment here. This is your chance to figure out what you really want to do, what God is calling you to do, who God has called you to be. Every experience, every adventure, touch them all. Touch them all. Friends, we will never have a moment like this again. I know it feels like it's already been here for forever and that it's going to last for forever, but it won't. These present moments that we're in right now, these are the pictures that we're going to look at in the future. So then, as followers of Jesus, may we release every moment, especially this moment, to its proper place and in its proper order. Because if we let our hearts go there, and if the first thing is our treasure, then our lives will yield good things. And Jesus promises that those good things will last forever. Even the things that come out of this very moment. Because experiencing simplicity's inward reality liberates us outwardly. Speech becomes truthful and honest. Lust for status and position is gone because we no longer need status and position. We cease from showy extravagance, not on the grounds of being unable to afford it, but on the grounds of principle. Our goods become available to others. The spiritual discipline of simplicity is not a lost dream, but a recurrent vision throughout history. It can be recaptured today. It must be.
So, the first practical step for living a life of simplicity is practicing gratitude. Practicing gratitude helps us to become aware of the love and provision that already surrounds us. It nurtures trust in the care of God and helps us release our grip on the stuff that we have. It reminds us that every good thing comes from God. So, practice gratitude. Say thanks. Allow your heart to soften by recognizing the good things in your life. Reorient yourself to God's provision. But then practice simplicity, even if you're unsure of it or feel uncomfortable with it, which most of us do, because we have a pretty tight grip on our stuff. But the practice of simplicity has the potential to bring freedom. And here are some easy ways to practice simplicity. Number 1, And this is so easy, so simple, but so hard. Buy less. Purchase things for their usefulness and not for their prestige or just because they're the latest trend. Budget so that you know where your money is going and so that you can be intentional about not accumulating more stuff than you need in your life. Before you purchase something, ask yourself, does it add value to my life? Does it honor the relationships that I'm trying to build? And how much time, energy, and money is this costing me? And is it worth it? For instance, there's nothing wrong with buying a boat. But if you spend more time worrying about making sure it doesn't get scratched or keeping it clean or storing it, than actually spending time on the lake with your friends and family, it's probably not a simple purchase. I realized a few years ago that although I love clothes and shoes, and that's okay, I was wasting a lot of time, money, and energy on clothes I hardly wore, and I was buying these clothes to impress people I didn't even like. So I made a decision to mostly stick with a uniform. I basically wear a t-shirt, a cardigan, jeans, and boots every day, at least for the 6 months that it's winter here in Saskatchewan. Now, I have too many of those things, so I'm still working on simplicity in this area, but it has saved me a lot of time and energy and money to put boundaries on what clothing I buy and has helped me enjoy clothes and shoes in a more appropriate and life-giving way. 2, give things away. Give things away that you don't use anymore, but better yet, give something away that you love, but you think might be possessing you instead of you owning it. Or give something away because the joy of the person receiving it is better and more life-giving than keeping it for yourself. A couple of years ago, a friend came for coffee, and she had the most gorgeous teal earrings in. And if you know me, you know I love me some teal. And I told her I loved those earrings, and right then and there, she took them out and handed them over. It was such a genuine act of love and generosity. Thanks, Brookie. Thirdly, enjoy things without buying them. Borrow books from friends and from the library. Camp instead of staying in a hotel. I'm never going to camp instead of staying in a hotel, but maybe you should. Rent and borrow things instead of purchasing them. Go to spaces that no one has to pay to enter or that cost very little. Public spaces are so important in our communities because public spaces embody the principle that we cannot commodify God's world when it's meant to be a gift for everyone to enjoy. Lakefronts, parks, riverbanks, oceans, and mountains should not be available to the people with the most money. They should be available to everyone. So support and enjoy public spaces. Get outside. You guys, this winter, we are going to have to develop a friendship with the outdoors, even if it's a rickety one, because we need to survive it. We're going to have to embrace and accept that balmy weather is minus 15 for the next 5 months and put our snow pants on and go for a walk. Where else are you going to go? Enjoy the simple pleasures that don't cost anything. The sparkle of Christmas lights on the snow. It's so beautiful out there right now. The slower pace of winter, a glass of wine or a cup of tea in your warm house, a game night with your family, maximum 5 people. This year, even though Christmas is a complicated holiday for me and I tend to be a bit Scroogey, I'm following a lot of the rest of you by finding joy in the small things and putting my tree up early, because that's how we roll during COVID.